Unfortunately, this was not the first lie that we heard from the Biden White House at that podium. Karine Jean-Pierre and the Biden White House consistently told the American people the border was secure.
The city's shelter system stretched past its capacity this summer. At one point, more migrants in city shelters than homeless Americans.
Well, we also heard the White House press secretary say that her boss was mentally fit and capable for the job. We saw that was not true either on the debate stage.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
The 46th president.
Incoming Trump press secretary Caroline Leavitt joins us now, and it is a pleasure to have you here. It's great to see you, Sandra. Thanks for having me. By the way, I want to first point out that you are going to be the youngest White House press secretary in U.S. history, 27 years old. What was it like the day you got the job? It's an incredible honor, and I'm so humbled that President Trump believes in me to speak on his behalf as the next president of the United States. I've been his spokeswoman on the campaign trail for the past 2 years, and it's been the honor of a lifetime to witness the greatest political campaign in history. So I very much look forward to this. It's a big responsibility. I feel the weight of that, but I'm excited to speak on behalf of a president who has a real mandate from the American people to change their lives and to deliver on the promises he made on the campaign trail. He said in his announcement that you would be his press secretary, that you will excel at the podium. Speaking of which, we just saw a live look at the podium because we are anticipating a White House press briefing. And this will be her first on-camera appearance, Karine Jean-Pierre. She did one gaggle, but since the president pardoned his son, Hunter, here she was repeatedly denying that that would ever happen. Watch.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well, is there?
I just said no. I just answered. Go ahead. We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no. It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. And I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
CNN has learned President Biden will pardon his son, Hunter Biden. CNN Chief National Affairs Correspondent Jeff Zeleny, I believe, is with us. Jeff, can you hear me?
And Jessica, yes.
Okay, what are you learning?
Look, we are just getting a statement from President Joe Biden. He's saying that today he signed a pardon for my son Hunter, and he goes through the reasoning why. Of course, Hunter is facing a sentencing later this month, but this is really a monumental moment for President Biden. He said several months ago in June, when he was still seeking a re-election, that he would not pardon Hunter Biden, but now we are learning he is.
I don't know any other way to look at it than that she was lied to, and she was sent out to that podium to say that, and he has since pardoned his son. How would you handle a situation like that? You tell the truth, and I think Karine Jean-Pierre was lied to, or she was lying to the press and therefore the American people, which is a complete dereliction of duty, and you need to have a direct relationship to your boss, which I do in President Trump, who tells the truth, and I'm just here to voice his opinion on behalf of him to the American public, and I plan to do that in my role. Unfortunately, this was not the first lie that we heard from the Biden White House at that podium. Karine Jean-Pierre and the Biden White House consistently told the American people the border was secure.
We start tonight with New York City at a potential breaking point. We have been following the story, as you know, for months. Tens of thousands of migrants arriving from Central and South America and West Africa, straining city resources. We got here tonight because of what the mayor said over the last 24 hours, and we want to walk you through all of this. The mayor saying the crisis, quote, will destroy New York City, unleashing his frustrations with a fury we haven't seen before, targeting the White House and governors, busing migrants to sanctuary cities, even calling the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, a madman. The White House responding tonight, defending their records, helping cities across the country. The crisis spilling into the largest school system in America. More than 1 million children returning to class today, with 20,000 new students from families seeking asylum. The school system getting another $110 million to the budget, but there are worries that resources will still be stretched to the limit. The city's shelter system stretched past its capacity this summer. At one point, more migrants in city shelters than homeless Americans. Some asylum seekers were able to get beds inside hotels, while others slept on the streets outside. Still, some parents are optimistic the city can handle the crisis. But now, more than ever, this issue spanning the border to cities thousands of miles away, and it's hitting close to home. NBC correspondent Valerie Castro has the story.
Let me tell you something, New Yorkers.
The migrant crisis taking on a new tone.
Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
Mayor Eric Adams escalating his frustration during a town hall meeting, revealing new fears as tens of thousands of asylum seekers continue to arrive in New York City.
110,000 migrants. We have to feed, clothe, house, educate the children, wash their laundry sheets, give them everything they need, health care. Month after month, I stood up and I said, this is going to come to a neighborhood near you. Well, we're here. We're here.
A drastic shift from the message Adams first had for incoming migrants.
Lady Liberty sits in our harbor. New York City is the welcoming mat for the entire globe.
For months, he's been pleading with the federal government for help, going so far as to blame them for the city's deteriorating supply of resources.
The national government has turned its back on New York City.
What he once dubbed as a political stunt by Texas Governor Greg Abbott became a new reality for the city.
We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian-speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City.
This bus terminal became the first welcome sign for migrants after hours-long journeys from Texas. But the mayor says to his frustration, they are still arriving by the busload. Howard Malu was there when the first buses of migrants arrived.
Bidenomics was working, inflation was transitory. Those were both lies as well. We also heard the White House press secretary say that her boss was mentally fit and capable for the job.
The president's doctor has said, if you look at what this president, the president who is also the commander-in-chief, he passes a cognitive test every day, as he moves from one topic to another topic, understanding the granular level of these topics.
There's been so much scrutiny, and you say there's no problem, he'd pass the test every day. Why not just have his doctor administer the test and then case closed?
Because the doctor doesn't believe that he needs one.
We saw that was not true either on the debate stage.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
So we look forward to bringing truth and transparency back to the White House in January. Are you planning or thinking through any potential changes in the way that room works and the way the press briefings work? Because this is a headline and quote from The Hill on President-elect Trump's potential shakeup of the White House press briefing room. They're saying that the press corps is recoiling at his threat to shake it up. It would be a total mess. So one White House reporter told The Hill this week, I would expect people would probably boycott the briefings. So that would put certain outlets in a tough spot. Any plans to change the way the briefing room works? Well, let me preface by saying that there has never been a more transparent president than Donald Trump. We saw that in his first term. He consistently called the press into the Oval Office when he was signing bills. He took questions from them directly. That's something the press, I know, is yearning for. They have not had that over the past 4 years. So their transparency and their access to the leader of the free world will be increased, and also to the press secretary as well. We will be holding briefings in that room. I think as far as the landscape of the briefing room, it needs to reflect the media habits of the American people in 2024, not in the 1980s. And President Trump won this election by utilizing non-traditional, non-legacy media voices outside the Beltway. That's clearly who the American people are listening to. That's how they're digesting their news. And I think it would be irresponsible of us not to include some of those voices in the briefing room. It is my job to communicate the president's message to the American people as effectively as possible. And we're looking into ways to do that. So some of those independent journalists will be invited in. We don't know specific changes just yet, but we're certainly exploring all options. All right, I want to finish up by asking you about some of the president-elect's picks as of now. One of the first things you sat down was the optimism that we heard from the president-elect in a tweet this morning over Pete Hegseth in the Department of Defense. What do you see happening there?
Well, contrary to what many in the media are reporting, there has never been a wavering in the optimism and the confidence from President Trump in Pete Hegseth. He is brilliant. He is intelligent. He is a war fighter, a decorated combat veteran who honorably served this great country. And when you hear him speak on Capitol Hill, you hear how passionate he is to stand up for the war fighters, the men and women who are honorably serving this country in uniform. The Pentagon is clearly failing the American people. Look at the conflicts we are embroiled in abroad. They just failed their 7th audit in a row. The American people elected President Trump to nominate outsiders who are not entrenched in Washington politics to shake up the swamp. That's exactly what Pete Hegseth is going to do. That's why the swamp is after him. President Trump stands by him 100%.
What's it like to spend all that time around Elon Musk?
He's a very interesting and brilliant guy who, once-in-a-generation business leader who's going to bring real change to the government. It's going to be an exciting 4 years.
They've got everybody talking, he and Vivek, with this doge. Even Senator Fetterman says, I don't know why it's controversial to want to eliminate waste.
Who could be against government?
Can you imagine that? Some bipartisan agreement.